Welcome back. Happy holidays and happy new year, everyone. I'm back. I took a bit of a month off because I was kind of running myself ragged, and then we had the holidays. But I'm back, and I'm ready for a brand new year of UVS content. And that's going to start... Hello, Sam. That's going to start with the UVS Games sending me solo leveling, both the Challenger deck for Sung Jinwoo, and a cool mat. So let's check out the mat first, as always. And again, thank you to UVS Games for sending me this cool swag. Oop, sorry, Sam. He's a bit skittish. Granted, I've always been under the impression that I have enough mats, but I'll never turn down a chance to show off some of this awesome stuff that UVS makes. Put that over there. And, ooh, that's pretty. Look at that. Look at him just strutting his stuff walking down there. That's cool. Wow, I like that. As someone who's, again, still hasn't seen or read solo leveling, that is dope looking. So we'll use that. And now we have the solo leveling Challenger series to check out. It looks like it's already torn here on the bottom. Oh wow, that is so much easier than... Have I been opening these wrong the whole time? Going in from the top. We have our collector's pack. Hopefully we'll get some cool alternate arts there. We have the solo leveling book, which shows you all of the different alternate arts. And yeah, so I guess each card will have an alternate art, but each pack will have either holo versions of cards or alternate arts. So, yeah. So every card can have an alternate art. So that'll be pretty dope. Although if there's one thing I would say, UVS, maybe a Learn to Play booklet as well for Challenger Series and Clash decks moving forward. Might be a product innovation. If you want more information on stuff like that, go check out the UK Versus podcast from the last 2 weeks, where we were talking about the end of the year things. We had really informative discussions. And shout out to UK Versus for always having me on their podcast. So we start with Sung Jinwoo, E-Rank Hunter. Again, I love the glitchy style they have for the health, hand size, and all the titles. So let's crack this bad boy open. I wonder if the assassin skill tree is matte or hollow. Let's crack it. Whoops. Alright, that didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. It's not a Hermit video if he's not fighting plastic for 5 minutes. So we have Sung Jinwoo, E-Rank Hunter. Is the skill tree in the back? I don't know. So that's cool. Then we start with Hunter's Dagger. Again, you got like the glitchy feel here, which is just so neat. This is an interesting zero diff asset too. So Hunter's Dagger. Then we get the rare Teleportation Stone, which is going to be great for all. Great defensive piece here. The rare attack, Clash with the Blood Red. Cool. Yeah, scoot these boys down here. So this is a really neat card. I love it because you can either force your rival to stun 2, or you get to draw a card and mill a good check off the top of their deck. So it could net you an attack or stun 2. On a 5/5, it's just a really good, solid opening piece. Venom Fang Dagger. This is good for just staggering damage on a whole bunch of other attacks. Good for a weapons death build. Our ultra rare attack, the world's weakest hunter. It's real pretty. Could draw a whole bunch of cards there. our ultra rare foundation, Double Dungeon, which allows us to level up mid-turn. Oh, and then we get the Assassin skill tree, and it is hollow. So that's pretty cool. I like that. So we're going to put that down here with Mr. Sungjin. Determined Cut. I love cards like this, where it's like, oh, after your rival plays an ability, something bad happens. So you can find a lot of, like, +1 damage, +1 damage, +1 speed that you can just stagger a whole bunch of enhances out. You can put your opponent in a real tough position of whether they want to interact with this card or not. And as an uncommon, we get 3 of it. Then we get Enough of This, which has got the new Frenzy keyword, which means when it's played, it gets +1 damage and +1 speed for every block that has been played this turn. And it doesn't count towards progressive difficulty to play attacks. And as an uncommon, again, we get 3 of it. The uncommon Grasp for Survival. Good defensive block there. And Killing Intent. We can seal some pretty powerful abilities here, because we seal a foundation with difficulty 2 or less, which is most of them. And we get a stun one. So we can blitz and then stun, which they'll probably stun the card that we sealed, but it gets it out of the way for the turn, so that's pretty cool. And we get 3 of that, of course. Now for our common attacks, we get Wolf Assassin. Add an XP foundation from your discard pile to your hand. That's really handy, because then we can just upgrade or level up at the end of the turn with that. And a lot of our excuse me. A lot of our XP foundations give us an additional ability when they're removed from our hand. So that's a really good way to guarantee our level up there. And as a common, we get 4. And now we get Dungeoneering Armor. So this is cool. We get the Armor keyword. I wonder if that's going to come into play later. It'd be really cool to get a Guts IP for this, and or Berserk IP with Guts and his demon armor. That'd be pretty neat. So a bit of defense there. We get to, if it's stunned, the attack gets -2 damage, and then we can sacrifice it for an additional -1 damage. As a common, we get 4 of it. Fateful Decision. Enhanced Commit. After you play a block, it gains Breaker 1. I think this might need a bit of clarification, because I think it's supposed to be after you play a block against this attack, because if it's Enhanced Commit after you play a block, it gains Breaker 1 for the whole turn, that's a little insane, and I don't believe that's how this card was meant to be played. But that's why usually things that give Breaker are at response speed, except for cards like Barrier Shield, which says the next block you play gains Breaker. And I think this should say your next block gains Breaker, as opposed to after you play a block, it gains Breaker. Because to be able to just play this common foundation, and let's say you commit 3 of them on your opponent's first attack, does that mean every block you play is going to gain 3 instances of Breaker 1 for the rest of the turn? I kind of doubt it. I don't think that's what they wanted to do. So UVS Games, if you could clear that up, if that is how this is meant to be played, I'm going to seriously reconsider my judgment of the all symbol. But, yeah, I just think it needs a little clarification on whether it works that way or it's just meant to work on the next block that is played. But as a common, again, we get 4 copies of it, as long as I don't knock it all out of my hand. Improving Skills. So this is one of those XP foundations that when we remove it from our hand, we get an additional ability. So this one says, after we remove it from our hand, we build the top card of our deck face down committed. That's pretty cool. and it can sacrifice a foundation for 1 speed. As a common, we get 4 copies. Item menu. After we remove this card from our hand, we get to draw a card, so that's really powerful. So this is probably the perfect card to level up with, because we just use it from our hand, and it doesn't lose us anything. So this is probably one of his best level up cards in order to use. Leveling strength, we can commit for just 2 damage. That's nice on a 1 difficulty with a 2 low block. So that's pretty nice if you're looking for low blocks on life. And it's an EXP foundation. As a common, we get 4. Loot box. This is a really neat card. I like this one. We flip it, we get to build the top card of our deck face down. And at the end of the combat phase, we get to add that card to our hand. So it's a free foundation for a turn, and then a free card. And we can use this defensively, so we can pick up a card offensively. Or we could play it offensively. We have an additional foundation for our turn, and then we get to pick up a block. That's just really, really good right there. I love this card. Definitely worth that 4 check in my opinion. And again, as a common, we get 4. And again, all getting some love finally. Whoops. Serpent Scramble. This is just a card with Breaker 1. I don't mind pseudo-blank foundations like this, these French vanilla cards. I don't really care for blank foundations, but I do like foundations with, like, Breaker. I think that really, I love the Breaker keyword. But I think it really adds to why if this was like a 0 with a 3 high block, those aren't going to see too much play outside of maybe a sealed or a draft format. But, you know, a 1-3 with Breaker makes it a little bit more enticing because it does have that defensive capability to it. So I do appreciate that more. And our last foundation is Timely Recovery. After we remove this card from our hand, we get to gain 2 health, and we can sacrifice it while it's committed to gain 2 health. So just a little bit of health recovery, really good for characters like Emir, maybe like an Elder Toguro for survival. And again, as a common, we get 4 of it. So that is the deck for our Mighty E-Rank Hunter. Now let's get to what we have all been waiting for, which that is just a really solid art for that collector's pack. So let's see what collector's cards we got, shall we? As I shake my entire desk. We got a loot box. So that's pretty cool. It's an alternate art loot box. You can tell because it doesn't have any sort of bordering. It's got that more full art look. So let's grab loot box. So that is the difference there, which is pretty cool. Then we get, ooh, another alt art. Timely Recovery. So we got 2 alternate arts here. Ooh, okay. So I think they're all going to be alt arts, because this one says contains 6 foil alt art cards, not 6 foil and alt art cards. So I think every card that you get in the solo leveling collector's booster is going to be an alt art. Let's test that theory, shall we? We got our Timely Recovery here. We got an alt art Serpent Scramble, which just looks ridiculously cool. We got the character! We got the alt art Sung Jin Woo! I need to call Brett from UK Versus. I know he really wants one of these. I've never pulled an alt art character before. One of my locals that I share a collection with pulled the alt art Deku, and because he pulled it, I don't feel like I have the right to sell it, but hey, this is awesome. Then we got Killing Intent. That's pretty neat looking. Nice. Then we get another attack. We get Enough of This, which is just him face planting someone and looking devilish while doing it. That is cool. So yeah, it looks like, for our booklet here, every card that you get in the collector's pack is going to be an alternate art. So that is cool. I'm going to have to take a look at this and see if there are any I actually kind of want. Alright, World's Weakest Hunter looks really dope. So does Determined Cut. Wait, Determined Cut. So what was the... Oh, I got Killing Intent. Right. Ooh, Faithful Decision looks cool. I'm not going to show too much of these because I want you guys to be surprised by what you get. But that is neat. That was really good. I like that you get all alternate arts as opposed to some holo, some alternate. I think that really adds to the value, considering these are $35 US per Challenger Series. I think getting all alternate arts and maybe making some just rarer. Of course, you know, you have your uncommon, your common, your character, stuff like that. I think that does add to the value of this, so I'm really appreciative of that. But that is the Solo Leveling Challenger Series. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, both of the Matte and the Challenger Series, and the change to the Collector's Pack. So that's pretty cool. And these Collector's Packs will be eligible for redemption. I believe some Challenger Series and smaller things will be eligible for redemption, but the last booster set where the packs were eligible for redemption was Origins of Power. So, starting with Critical Role, the booster packs from the booster packs themselves will not be eligible for redemption, but you will be getting redemption, I think they're like cards or scan things, something like that, where you can scan it into your UGN account to gain points for purchase. But that's all we have for this one. Get ready for a new year full of content from me, including some retro content that I'm really excited about. Rochester CCG says that 2025 is going to be the year of retro. I'm going to be starting a bunch of retro deck lists that I can't wait to show off with you guys. And yeah, so do all the algorithm things. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.